Ding.
Oh, man, it's rough this morning.
It's the afternoon. What are you talking about?
I'm still kind of sleepy. We've been running with these kids all around town, tearing the shit up. We went out last night, too.
Yeah, we went out 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Haven't done that in a long time.
I know.
And now we know why.
I gotta recover. Yeah.
It was actually fun. I was like, because we went out Friday night. It was fun, even though I had to like rush after we did the show. And I'd already drank a lot before we got there. But we had a good time. And then Saturday, we're like, oh, let's go to it again. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know if I can do it. And I had a couple drinks at home.
Yeah.
And then I went out there and I was like, I'm going to fall asleep on the bar. I just can't take it. But then, like, after I had a couple drinks, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we woke up. Yeah.
Then they played Alien Sex Fiend. And I'm like, okay, that cheered me up.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. All right, so today is 4th of July, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Happy Independence Day, everybody.
Yeah. And you'd think we'd probably be doing something about barbecue or something, but nah, fuck that.
We thought about that.
There's
that was
not
the
much
first,
to talk about.
That's the first thing I thought of. And I was like, man, that sounds kind of boring. And then you came in and said, oh, let's talk about American breakfast. And I said, ooh, that's a good idea because we did a little section of that in our cookbook.
Yeah.
And breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, even though I don't usually eat it.
Yeah.
Isn't that dumb?
The strength of American breakfast is the speed at which it can be cooked. There are other countries that have breakfasts, but sometimes like they're sometimes they're complicated or they're so simple that we wouldn't consider to be breakfast. Like in Brazil, when I was living in Brazil, they have something called café de manhã, which means fucking morning coffee. It's not breakfast, okay? It's just coffee, maybe some fruit, like slices of melon or something, maybe some strawberries, and then like a piece of, I guess it'd be like Italian-style bread or a piece of French bread with some butter on it. And it might come with a little slice of cured ham and maybe some white cheese or something, some slices of like Brazilian cheese to be similar to, say, like Munster. Okay. Which that means you can now make a ham and cheese sandwich. But it's still not breakfast by American standards. Brazilians should just waking up and having a coffee and putting something in their stomach before the commute. It's not the same. Our breakfast is, I think, based upon an English breakfast.
Yeah, because the full English is kind of similar. I think, well, the full English usually has, I think it has tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like sliced tomatoes. And doesn't it also have beans? Yeah, it's like that's...
Guys are just
one of the weirdest things that I saw people eat for breakfast over there was canned spaghetti on toast.
Oh, that's
and rough. I was like...
That's rough.
My stomach can't face that kind of shit that time of the morning. I just, you know what I mean? Just can't.
The UK was kind of in a different economic position after the war, and the culinary arts were kind of stunted compared to the U.S. They were very heavily reliant on canned food, you know, and a lot of meat and beef type stuff would have to have been imported. I mean, they did have beef but it was mostly lamb is what they were eating. And I think they had pork. Yeah. But a lot of stuff that, you know, the average person in England fucking growing up in the 50s and 60s was like here in the United States. It was cans, really. But the American breakfast, I think the strength is just how fast you could cook it out of a diner. Fried eggs, hash browns, fried strips of bacon, fried slab of ham, pancakes, toast, sometimes fruit.
Maybe waffles.
With if there's waffles, then there's fruit on the waffles. You know, sometimes maple syrup, grits. If you're in the South, will be thrown into the mix.
Biscuits and gravy. Home fries.
Yeah, home fries, which is
kind of like hash browns.
It's just cubed.
Yeah.
Fried pieces. It's actually faster to boil them. Boil a bunch of cubed potatoes, drain the water out, and then fry them in a pan, season them, put green peppers and onions, red peppers in there with it, you know. And you season them to taste. You can use them as components and other things.
One guy I was watching, he was making corned beef hash for breakfast, and he used leftover French fries.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty good idea.
Now, there's also an element of like fast food and eating on the go with a lot of American breakfasts. When I was in the Army, our chow hall had fucking great breakfast, and they could feed thousands of dudes very quickly. And it was a mixture of stuff like they'd make an omelet to order or eggs to order and throw that to you, and you walk through the line, and then the rest of it was kind of like a buffet style. And you learned real quick, we were inventing our own foods, okay, as soldiers.
Frankenfoods.
They were like Frankenfoods. Because you didn't want to spend all morning in the damn chow hall, okay? You wanted to go back to the barracks because you already did your run. Then you then you take a shower, you eat chow, and then you'd have to go back to your barracks, and wait for first formation. Well, that might be an hour right there. So if you ate fast, you could get back to the barracks and get another hour sleep, because sometimes you were only running on a couple of hours, because you were partying or working or doing missions, just infantry shit. So you wanted to skip that part of the morning where you're sitting down in the chow hall eating. You just wanted to take the food off the damn tray and walk out with it and go back to your room. You couldn't take the tray back to the barracks. So we would do shit like order a Western omelet, all right, and then go and get some bacon, and then get like one pancake. That was self-serve, all right. And then on your tray you'd take the omelet and put that on top of the pancake. Put your bacon and ham on top of the omelet and roll it up like a burrito, and then throw the damn tray into the cleaning bin right there where they clean it and walk out with it eating like a yeah. It's like a breakfast sandwich. And you might even have a couple of hash browns in there with jelly on top.
Well,
of
might
it.
as well.
With grape jelly in that mix too, because one of the great things about American breakfast food is that if it mixes together, it actually all tastes better. You can mix everything.
I can't really think of any classic American breakfast food that doesn't taste good with all the other ones. You could take two flapjacks or pancakes, throw bacon and eggs in between them, put maple syrup on it, and eat that. Yeah. Okay, it tastes great because normally it would be side by side, kind of mixing in together anyway. Now I kind of want to make that.
So now you just so we were doing cool shit like that with it. So it was kind of like the ultimate fast food. Now, one thing in my research I've noticed is that out of all of the American foods, you can even probably include the English breakfast too, but out of everything that we have, what seems to be most appealing and most acceptable to foreigners from totally alien culinary practices, they like that breakfast. You can give that to somebody in Turkey and they'd like it. You could give it to somebody in Saudi Arabia and they'd like it. You could give it to somebody in China and they would eat that. Japan would eat that. Because they're just kind of, I guess because they're very simple, kind of, they're not an overly prepared food. It's a lot of whole food, so they're familiar with it, and it blends real well. I've noticed that foreigners are really impressed with maple syrup if they've never had it. Especially if it's hot.
Interesting.
You would think that would be, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh man, this is great. What is this? It's from a tree. That's the kind of, this is really good. And they'll pour that on French toast,
Oh yeah.
They like all that.
Oh man, now I want French toast.
Now, you could we had French toast in the Army too. And it was in whole pieces, like a whole slice of French toast.
Yeah.
You put ham and eggs and cheese and make a sandwich like that. Put some jelly and walk out with it, and it was kind of like a Monte Cristo sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it in France? A croque monsieur?
I don't know.
Like that's like basically a ham and cheese sandwich.
Right, ham and cheese sandwich. But we throw egg in it too. We're trying to get as much food as we could in there. And with some bacon and everything. So it was like a giant mutant hillbilly version of the sandwich. I forgot what sandwich it was.
I mean, the nice thing too is that even though you have like your kind of more sweeter things like pancakes and waffles and stuff, like I said with maple syrup, but that tastes really good with the savory shit too.
Yeah.
Like so you get like a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So here's another thing. If you're living in another country and you want to experiment with American food, it's best to start with breakfast. Because you could probably get pretty much all of that in your location. I mean, Saad, even he lives in Saudi Arabia, and they were selling maple syrup in the grocery store.
Yeah.
So you can a lot of American stuff's kind of become globalized, where you can get it on a global market now. It's kind of catching on. But if you wanted to cook American food, probably for the first time, it'd probably be easiest to start with breakfast, and you get a good taste of what it is that we eat over here. It's now if you're gonna mess with breakfast, I mean, and you don't know how to cook, you might as well start practicing, because there's a skill in there that every cook has to learn, and you learn it in culinary school, and that's how to cook an egg. All right, and there's all kinds of video tutorials on how to cook eggs on a non-stick pan, or even just a greased pan. And then the next step is how to beat eggs and how to cook an omelet. My best advice to like a novice cook is to have a tool that I like to use called an egg flipper. It's a special kind of spatula. I have 3 of them. It's shaped like a knife, basically like a big kitchen knife, but it's rubber, and it's like a spatula blade, and it helps you do things like flip eggs over or fold an omelet up and close an omelet. But it's also real good at emptying bowls. Have the right equipment. You know what I mean? If you get in there and you're trying to cook eggs and you got a shitty little spatula, you're gonna have trouble. You know, get the right stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, you really need the non-stick pans, too, because I used to have, like, old shitty pans, and cooking eggs was, like, such a bitch. They would always stick.
Yeah. You have to have the temperature right if you don't have non-stick pans. And there has to be oil in the pan. So a lot of times you're cooking bacon first, and then the bacon drippings is what the egg's going to be cooked in, because cooking time on an egg is far faster than bacon is, okay? And the American breakfast... Actually, especially if you're dealing with cast iron, which traditionally that's where it would go back. A lot of that stuff is cooked on cast iron griddles, or they were on cast iron skillets. It's a lot of times one pan. It's a one pan production. You're cooking it all in the same pan in the order. The bacon ends up greasing the pan. That's what the hash browns are going to get cooked in, and then finally the eggs. And you're kind of taking it out of there as you're going. Now, there's some stuff that I've done in the past just to make things easy, and that's preparing a quick breakfast with everything that would be in an American breakfast all in a single pan.
Yeah.
Okay. Together. Like you would take bacon, fry the bacon, all right? When the bacon gets almost done, just crack eggs on top of the damn bacon and let it all cook together. Flip all that over. Put cheese on one side of it. And then take that out and put that in a bowl and eat it. Real good. It's like an omelet. It's just that it's not folded. It's all together. You do the same thing with thin slices of Spam. Cooking the Spam. And then put something like jalapenos or vegetables or peppers on it. And then pouring like 6 eggs or 4 eggs, depending on how big your pan is and how hungry you are. And just letting it cook in that pan with the meat on top of it. It works fine. And then flip that. And then top it with cheese, cover it, and steam it all together. Yeah.
Is that called a frittata?
It probably is.
I think.
Yeah, it probably is. There's probably a name for it because nothing's original.
Yeah.
All right. It's just if you're trying to cook for speed and ease of cooking, that's something a cook would just automatically kind of do. Let's just cook this all at once in the same pan together. And it's great, really good. You could take that and throw that on top of a pancake and put syrup on it and eat it. Eggs, pork, syrup, pancake,
yeah, man.
all in the same fork. It works. Peppers and everything.
The guy I was watching earlier, he actually had made some bacon, and then he cut it up into little pieces, and he put it on the flat top, and then he put the pancake batter over it, so that when you flipped it over, it had like bacon like integrated into it. He also put jalapenos in the waffle batter. Yeah,
jalapenos is very good in eggs or like waffle batter. I've heard about that.
Yeah. He made that, and then he put like chicken on top of it, and then he poured maple syrup over top. It looks delicious.
Our jalapenos are they're pickled and in a slightly vinegary type of solution, but it's very hot. almost kind of like Tabasco sauce. I don't waste it. I buy big things of
like a big jar of the
big
shit.
jars of jalapeno. With that juice, I'm gonna use that juice in something. I'll pour it in something, let it cook down in it. But anyway, that tart and hotness that's inside, or that vinegary and hotness of that jalapeno that we have, works really well with sweet.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it would, but it does. So I could see that working real well in a waffle.
Yeah.
With maple syrup on it.
And like I said, he had fried chicken on
And
there
fried
too.
chicken
So it was
on
like
top
a
of it.
chicken and waffles application.
Hell yeah. That'd be real good.
Goddamn chicken and waffles.
I know. Tell them about chicken and waffles, Jim.
Yeah, we get chicken and waffles at Chantel's. Although, as many times as I've got that there, like after the club, I have never been able to finish it. It's just too much. Even if I haven't eaten all day. It's a big-ass waffle, like this big, and 3 pieces of fried chicken on top of it.
It's a leg, a thigh, and a breast.
Yep.
And they're deep fried on the bone. You put it on top of the waffle, and you pour syrup on all of it. You'd think, well, how the hell do you eat that? You just take a knife, you take your fork and stick it through the chicken, cut it off of the chicken, and then cut the waffle underneath it, and there'll be syrup on there, and you eat it all at once. It's fucking great, real good.
Yeah, you put
really good
butter and syrup on it, or some people put honey on it too, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, honey and maple syrup on that application are pretty similar.
Yeah.
The thing is that there's only one thing against chicken and waffles, is that deep frying chicken. It's a long cooking time, and prep is long. You gotta make egg wash. You have to get your flour ready and seasoned, and you gotta batter the chicken and fry it. And cooking time is 20-something minutes. You know, so for breakfast, that's kind of a long project.
Yeah.
Most people want breakfast done quickly, so you could say that chicken and waffles would be like an extra deluxe breakfast.
That's like almost like a brunch thing.
Yeah, that takes longer to do that.
If you're gonna go sit and have have a couple mimosas and not care about how long it takes.
It's not the kind of situation where you woke up the crack of dawn. I gotta feed all 3 of these fuckers, man. Damn. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. Because once you get your skills down, you can feed 4 or 5 people with an American breakfast quickly. You know, within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's really cheap too.
Yeah.
And even making all the shit is like, if you're making all the shit. And that's the thing. One of my favorite things about back in the day about staying in hotels was the breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
Because every single thing on there is good. And so I would just go and get like a little bit of every single thing. But fuck, man. Yeah, somebody was talking about grits.
What about it?
I don't know.
I'm catching up with the comment section.
I mean, honestly, my favorite simple go-to meal, and I used to not just for breakfast, I used to have because when I worked at night and I'd get home like about 4 a.m, and then I would need some dinner or breakfast or whatever. It was 4 a.m. And I would just make a couple fried eggs and a little bit of bacon and some toast. And that was just that was perfectly good. Yeah. Takes 5-10 minutes to make, and it's pretty nutritious, I guess. But,
POV saying he's going to go out and try some new trigger. I don't know which trigger you're talking about. I don't know that one. I got a KE Arms.
Mr. Roboto asked, do we got Waffle House? Yeah, there's a couple Waffle Houses around here.
They tore a lot of them down, though.
Yeah. Is that one still there that we used to go to all the time? The one that was by your old house?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time. But for a while, we'd always go to Denny's, after the club, because you'd always want a Grand Slam. I mean, I would always want a Grand Slam. Because I really like... See, that's the thing. It's it kind of sucks because I always get up really early, but I don't really get hungry until later. So usually I just have a cup of coffee and that's it. I don't usually eat any breakfast. Sometimes I'll have a bowl of oatmeal, but that's about all I can stomach that early in the morning. But, I mean... I really, really like just the idea of just a big, huge breakfast. Even if I can't eat, it's you know what I mean? It's just pancakes, waffles, French toast, eggs, bacon, all that shit, grits. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like one of my favorite things.
Badger's in there saying, I still need to make grits. If you've never made grits, prepare... If you make grits just the plain way, just with salt and pepper and butter on them, there's not much to them. We like to season them. I like to put Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning, or any kind of Cajun seasoning that you find to be all right, probably. Tony's, I think, is the best one. Put a little bit of Cajun seasoning in it. Crumbled up bits of bacon or chopped ham, maybe.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. You want it kind of... If you're going to put ham in there, pre-cook the ham a little bit. Get it a little bit brown before you put it in there. And then take some cheddar cheese. Grate it. Put some grated cheddar cheese in it and stir it. It'll all mix up in there. If it starts getting too thick and pasty, put a little bit of cream or milk in it to loosen it back up again. You want it to be kind of creamy. Chantel would say put coconut milk in it, and I wouldn't disagree with her. That's what she does. It's
Well, yeah,
good,
because their shrimp and grits are like out of this world.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you don't want to go through all that, just get you some shrimp. If you can find pre-cooked, deveined, frozen shrimp, that'd actually be good enough.
Yeah.
Make sure they're thawed and cook. If it's pre-cooked, then you just thaw it. Put that in the grits. Let it heat up. Put that in there with some Cajun seasoning. Yeah, same thing. Actually, cheese would be good with it, and then loosen it up with some cream.
Yeah, because hers had cheese in it.
Yeah, hers had cheese in it.
Yeah.
She used coconut milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of cream.
That's what made it. Yeah, it made it really, really like velvety.
But there's a lot of recipes online for that. Just don't get some basic bitch ass grits. That's what they gave us in the army, and they didn't stay basic for long. We were throwing all kinds of stuff in those grits.
Yeah, you kind of have to put. I mean, right. I like them with just like butter and black pepper in them. Like I can eat them like that, but you can't just eat them plain. Really, you need to put stuff in there. You need to put some kind of seasoning, a shit ton of butter, some cheese. Yeah. We put whole hard-boiled eggs in ours.
Yeah, whole hard-boiled eggs. That way you can kind of like with a spoon slice off a little bit of hard-boiled egg and get it with the grits, and you have the eggs in the center of it.
Yeah,
just whatever. But yeah, she's the basic is just salt, pepper, and butter. Some people really like that. That's like that's the way I want mine. I want my old school style. Yeah, that's like some shit my dad would do.
I used to eat them like that.
Yeah, some people like that, but you get tired of them if you ask me. Depends. Just try it.
You need to pimp them out.
Yeah, I pimp them out.
Tom has to pimp everything out.
I pimp that shit out.
We can't ever eat anything like just simple food. He has to bling it all up. He has to keep putting like more and more stuff in it.
Some of the stuff that I like to make, it needs bacon bits. Cooking bacon is a bitch. It's just an extra step that you have to do. And recently I've been buying these bags of real pre-made bacon bits. They've got a Ziploc on the top of them. They have them at Sam's. That whole bag I think it's about $11. It's worth it. It's kind of expensive for the poundage of how much bacon it is, but the speed at which you can turn a dish out is increased a lot because you can just say, well, it's like a side component. It's not the main feature of the dish. Like I was making cheeseburgers last night, and I said, I got those bacon bits, and then took 2 spoonfuls of those bacon bits and put them on top of the cheese, on top of the cheeseburger, and then just put the lid on the pan and steamed them in there. Man, that shit was good, man. Yeah. It was a lot faster than pulling out 4 strips of bacon and cooking it separately and then having to deal with the damn bacon drippings and what am I going to do with the bacon drippings, You can't cook it in the same pan, but cooking time's a little different. Sometimes you think of these things while in inopportune times. Like, bacon would be good on that. I can't cook bacon, but if I had bacon, I'd use it. And go, I do have bacon. Aha. That's the kind of the...
Well, yeah, so we've been putting bacon bits on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Burgers, salads.
Yeah, it's mostly a salad thing. Yeah. But it is a real bacon bit, and...
yeah, it's not like this weird
it's not. Yeah, it's not a fake bacon. It's a real bacon bit.
faking bits.
So I'm just paying for the convenience.
Which that's that's legit.
And you can make a real fast bacon and cheese omelet, and it's real good for breakfast stuff. I like it.
To be honest, omelets, I know this is gonna be like sacrilegious. I love bacon. I'm not saying that, and I love all the breakfast meats. You know, I love sausage. I love ham, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, if I'm making an omelet, I would rather just have like veggies in there, like mushrooms, tomatoes.
Yeah, she likes vegetable stuff. I like
red
meat.
peppers.
Yeah,
like they're good with meat in them, like ham and cheese and stuff. But I don't know. I like a good mushroom omelet. You know.
Let's see what everybody's
just
saying.
Mushroom, maybe a little bit of spinach in there. Yummy.
Nego says he's got a lot of times on his hands coming up. He's going to try a bunch of different variants.
Gramthars Hammer says, "Why do the grits at Waffle House taste like dry snot?" I just think they don't season them enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know what they do to them. I didn't usually get grits at Waffle House. We usually got biscuits and gravy, or I get waffles.
Yeah. Now, Louis Hernandez went ahead and mentioned, he says Mexican breakfast must have salsa in it. There are some real good Mexican breakfasts that they eat. Huevos rancheros, which is just eggs with that salsa.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they dress that up in a bunch of different ways too. But I remember in California, I first saw huevos rancheros. It was good. It was real good. Another thing that they'll do is that they'll take scrambled eggs and some cheese and put that in a tortilla shell, corn tortilla. It's kind of like an egg taco.
Egg taco.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have breakfast burritos here, so it's kind of like the same concept.
Like that. Right.
Man, I love a good breakfast burrito.
Yeah. Although I think the breakfast burrito, I think the breakfast burritos that we're eating, of course, I think that's an American thing.
I think, that's more an American invention.
Although that's something that Mexicans would eat. Flour tortilla with some eggs and cheese and some meat.
Yeah, it's not that different than normal.
They'd probably put some salsa in it. Probably tomato salsa.
Well, most people here put salsa in it too.
Green tomatoes, green salsa maybe.
Ooh.
You have to ask Louis.
Yeah, I'm interested in what other cultures eat for breakfast. You know what I mean? It's like there's and why I'm always kind of curious too, like why certain things are considered breakfast food and certain things are considered not. It's obviously a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Because some places, like for example, I know there are some countries where people eat soup for breakfast, and here, if you did that, everyone would think you were a weirdo, even though there's no reason in the world why you can't eat soup for breakfast. Cereal's kind of like soup when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know? But I think people maybe have a perception that Americans just eat sweet things for breakfast, like donuts and big ass muffins and stuff like that, which people do, but I don't know. I'm kind of more. Sometimes I'm in the mood for more sweet things like waffles or pancakes or something. Usually I want something savory. I want something with eggs or, But like I said, normally I kind of like that late at night though. Like after, if I'm drunk, I usually want breakfast food, waffles or eggs or something.
They're in there talking about that green salsa, that green Mexican salsa. Mm-hmm. They used to have that at Publix in the import section, and they would sell it in a 2-liter plastic container, huge 2-liter plastic container of that stuff, for like only $3 or $4. I was buying it. It was fucking great. I don't think it was Mexican though. I think it was further south. It might have been from Salvador or something. Maybe Honduras. It was good, really good. Some people call it that green enchilada sauce, but it's tomato salsa. It's green tomato salsa is what it is. It's good, yeah. That'd make a real good salsa for eggs, like some kind of Mexican breakfast burrito. That's what I'd put in it.
Louis
Better than red.
Louis says we eat menudo for breakfast, which is a tripe soup.
Yeah. That shit, boy, that's just strong, too. A friend of mine was cooking that up in the barracks. He had that. He had a can. He had a big old can of it. His mom sent it to him. Oh, man, they sent me the... Oh, man, I'm going to have it today. He's like, he put that shit in the fucking... We had these ramen cookers. We had this little electric cooker pots, and it was this menudo. He goes, hey, yeah, man, this is good. It was Chifino. That was his name. Miguel. He's heating that up. He goes, oh, man, this is going to be so good. You want some? And I says, yeah, I'll take a little bit of it. It started to get hot in there. I was like, oh, man, it smells
Never mind,
strong.
I don't want any.
It smells strong, man. He goes, that's good, though. You're going to like it. So I tasted some of it. It didn't taste bad. It's just that it was definitely internal organs.
Yeah.
You know, it had that internal organ taste to it. I was like, it was like chili kind of.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of had chili style spices. It was rough. You know, I was like, nah, you can keep it, man. I don't want to eat up your gift from home. You know, that was up in Korea.
Jesus.
He's eating menudo in fucking Korea.
See, I don't know. I mean, I know everyone's like digestive systems are different, but it's just kind of like I can't face eating something like that, something that strong or something that heavy like that early in the morning.
He was just eating it like soup. I was thinking, man, shouldn't that go on rice? And he's like, no. And he's just eating it like this.
No, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I would have mixed that like half and half of rice. It would have made more sense to me. It didn't taste like stew to me. But I would put rice in stew. I put rice in stew. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma used to as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Robata says leek soup and fish for breakfast. That actually sounds kind of good. I really like leek soup, to be honest with you. I had it a lot in Wales. You know, and fish for breakfast, that's never...
Louis said it's
weird,
an acquired taste.
Well, yeah. It's just, I don't know. So I feel like... I mean, when I was on vacation, I told myself I'm actually going to get up and like have breakfast because I never really get to, or I never really feel like it when I'm at home. But even then, one day I went and had kind of like a big breakfast. I had like some grits with hot sauce on them and like some bacon and eggs and stuff. And that was really good. But the rest of the time I was just like, you know, I'd have like, one time I had the little piece of quiche Lorraine. And then one time I woke up and I was like, man, I want a croissant. Yeah. So I had to go down to this. There's a place called Chocolates that's down there, and they have all like croissants and shit like that. So I went down there and just had that with just some jelly on it.
But if you guys have never had any American food, you know, if you're in a foreign country, you want to try the breakfast first. I mean, it's the most friendly because it's mostly whole foods and mostly easy to get components that are available in most parts of the world. So there's nothing strange in there. The strangest thing would be that damn maple syrup. And in some countries, that's very expensive. But people universally seem to like it no matter where they are. A good example would be, I was in here eating, on one show I showed pecan pie to the camera. And Saad up in Saudi Arabia says, oh man, that looks good. So he DM'd me and he was like, what's in that? Well, he said, no, he saw the, he asked me how I made it, and I showed him the recipe, and then I said, you'll like this. This is all within the Arabic flavor palette, because you know a lot of their sweets are similar to that. And he's like, yeah, that does.
Yeah,
look like
it's real sweet, but it's good.
Yeah, and Middle Eastern sweets are very sweet.
Yeah, and
they like things like nuts, and they like things that are kind of molassesy type things. You know, it's candied sweet, and so he goes down, and Saudi Arabia had corn syrup, okay? And on the cover, or on the label of the corn syrup, it had a picture of pecan pie. Okay.
Really? Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. All right. The thing is that he got that on his second one. The first one he used, he used something Arabic, and it didn't set. So it tasted like corn syrup, but it wasn't quite thick enough. That's what he used. I have to remember exactly the order of events. So it comes out of the oven. He shows me a picture. It looks good. He cuts it, and it just... because it didn't set. He ate it anyway. He goes, this is good.
It's still good. Yeah. So even if you fuck it up, it's still good.
A couple days later, he shows me the picture of that label of corn syrup. I think it was corn syrup. It was either corn syrup or maple syrup, one of the two. But on the label, it was all written in Arabic. On the label, it had a picture of pecan pie.
That's really fun. That's really funny.
Pouring it out onto a raw pecan pie before it was baked.
Yeah.
I think it might have been maple syrup though, because you can use either.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was either maple syrup, cream. I'll have to ask him again. It might have been corn syrup, but that's not what he used. He used the wrong thing for the first one. Yeah.
Well, you know, live and learn. Although, like you said, it was still good. So.
It was still good, but.
Esther said, I like crepes for breakfast. That's not weird. She said, I'm weird. No, that's not weird.
That's not weird at all.
I love crepes.
Yeah, an American would say that that's a breakfast food.
Yeah.
I don't think the French would think so.
I don't think it's as common. And like I said, you can get them sweet or savory. And it's actually in St. Augustine, I didn't get to go there, but there's a whole like cafe, like a brunch place that's completely based around crepes.
Yeah. A pancake is a hillbilly crepe. It's the same
Pretty
thing.
much.
It's just
and when I make pancakes, I like really thin crepe-like
You're right.
pancakes.
You can do that too.
I mean, I like big fluffy pancakes too, but I kind of prefer them like thinner.
Yeah.
Trace Render says, is it popular in America to put a knob of cheese on blueberry pie?
No.
I've seen cheddar cheese on apple pie.
Right.
Not so much blueberry.
No.
I'm sure people do it, but I think apple pie... I've only done it once or twice, but I think they put cheddar cheese on apple pie, do they not?
Yeah, well, we have a couple different kinds of apple pie. And
Yeah.
some apple pie you wouldn't do that to.
Yeah.
Like the kind of apple pie, I forgot what the name of it is. It slipped my mind. The one that has the sugar crumble on the top of it. You're really not supposed to put cheese on that.
That's like an apple pandowdy or like something like that.
The one that you put the cheese on is the apple pie that has the lattice work top.
The lattice work top on it. Or like flat. The classic apple pie.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people put cheddar cheese on top of that. But I mean, maybe they do it with blueberry too. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of blueberry pie. I had never heard of that, but maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Louis said, anybody ever has barbacoa for breakfast?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, traditional apple pie is great with cheese. Yeah, it is good with cheese. I mean, I kind of just prefer it plain, but you know. I saw something else that I was gonna.
But for you guys out there, man, I'm happy that you like the series. I'm happy that that me talking about this is getting guys to want to cook things for the very first time.
Cooked for the very first time.
And I like to quote my uncle Putin. He was in front of a bunch of students, and these macho ass Russian kids are like, "So what do we do to make us more macho, more masculine?" I think they were fucking with him, and fucking Putin goes, "Learn how to cook." And they all laugh, and he goes, "No, I'm serious." And Putin says, "You learn how to cook. What are you gonna do? All right, you're gonna keep running to your mama and have her cook you things. Learn how to feed yourself. Learn how to feed other people. It's a skill that you'll have for the rest of your life, and you'll never go hungry when you know how to cook."
Well, honestly, it is really one of the most useful skills.
Yeah,
because you got to eat.
You got to eat.
You know,
right? And there's some cultures where cooking is women's work, or so they say.
Yeah.
Although when you actually look at the cultures that believe that, it's not really what was happening. You know what I mean? Like traditional Arabic culture, yeah, women did housework and stuff. That most traditional cultures did that, but men cooked also.
Yeah.
Even in Bedouin culture, you know what I mean? They're barbecuing things underneath the ground and making fires, and everybody cooked. And so one of the most macho motherfuckers in the world right now, Gordon fucking Ramsay, is a cook.
Yeah.
And he's like something out of damn Special Forces. At least his mouth is. All right?
Not sure about the rest of it.
Yeah. He's tough, you know, but it's all, "You fucking love you. It's burned. It's raw." Yeah. Well, kitchens are high pressure environments. It's very fucking hot. There's a lot of foreplanning and teamwork. It's a lot like a cross between a damn air traffic control tower and or an old school air traffic control tower. Now I think it's all computers, but back in the day it was dudes fucking trying to keep track of all these planes. So it's like a cross between air traffic controllers and rock stars. They're kind of like the rock stars of the blue collar world, running around with waitresses and getting in trouble, and they all party. Cooks party.
Well, yeah, that's a big part of the culture.
A lot of them would fall to drugs.
Yeah.
To try to stay awake because they're getting off of work, fucking partying, and going to damn strip clubs or just whatever with the whole staff, you know, and chasing the waitresses and dating waitresses, and then they got to get up first thing in the morning. They're out there drinking all night, and then they get up first thing in the morning and fucking get the kitchen ready.
Yeah.
And you know,
it's a hard job.
Sliding into chemical assistance to get all this done.
Yeah.
And then it's bad road. It's a bad road, you know what I mean? Fucking they're aware of it though, you know, and a lot of these kitchens are aware of it today, and they keep an eye out for that. And if somebody looks like they're sliding, they'll try to get him help in a good kitchen. you know?
Yeah, because like I said, it's like an occupational hazard.
Yeah,
really.
it's an occupational hazard.
Somebody brought up Eggs Benedict before, and I wanted to say something too. I was watching a guy, I think he's called Sam the Cooking Guy. I'd never seen him before, but I just kind of came across it on YouTube, and he had a trick for Eggs Benedict, and I didn't actually know that you could do this. But he's like, if you're making Eggs Benedict like for brunch and for a bunch of people, and you don't want to be like stressed out, like trying to poach the eggs while everybody's there, he's like, you can totally poach them ahead of time. It's like, just poach them, put them in ice water, like he had them in a container with ice water. And he's like, I did these like an hour ago. And he's like, and then when you're going to make the Eggs Benedict, you just like pop it back in simmering water for like a minute, and it comes out completely perfect.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that.
And I was like, oh, that's a good tip.
Caterers do that.
Because honestly, I mean, poaching an egg is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's another way you can do. It's really easy to fuck it up.
There's little cups for it, and another way to do it is you can stir a pot real hard like that, and then drop an egg in the middle of the vortex, and if the water's temperature's right, it'll. I don't know. Don't make me say the word whirlpool. I say the word whirlpool, and some of these guys in there want to rock up because they think I'm talking about. Because I remember I said that girl was dragging him into the whirlpool. Yeah. They instantly knew what I was talking about.
Or whirlpoon, if you will.
Yeah. I got that from a mention in a Roman history of a very popular Roman prostitute at one of those brothels down there in Pompeii, and her business name was Whirlpool. That's what the book said. Whirlpool was her name. So I was trying to imagine that. I was going, okay. So that concept goes back that far.
Yeah.
But don't make me get graphic. I was. Were they talking about a hip action to doing this, or did she have some kind of special skill?
Why not both?
Or both. It was something that stood the test of time. Her name was recorded in Roman history, and she was a very special lady.
She was a very special lady.
Exactly.
I gotta write that shit down.
Yeah. Bitch name was Whirlpool.
We call her Scylla and Charybdis.
Yeah.
But, Gramthars Hammer says, Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain went into great detail about cooks and alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
I should read that one of these days. He passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gramthars went, I was going to Trenton High. I worked, my first cooking job was down the street at that bar and grill, just up from the school, like where I forgot the name of the place, shit. It's been so long, but that place was fucking jumping. And I started off as a dishwasher. And all those cooks in there were fucking fantastic. They were really good. And they were all fucking on something.
Yeah.
All of them. It's just because of the damn pressure. They're constantly cooking, constantly working. Then they only have a few hours at the end of the night for any kind of social life, and it's usually some kind of intense partying and alcohol, and then they got to get up the next morning and do that shit all over again. And they're kind of having fun while they're working, but they're also under a lot of stress. And they were young. They were all in their late 20s, early 30s. They're chasing girls and stuff. They were fucking a riot, man. And then later on, I was did a lot of the short order stuff and the prep stuff and making desserts and making components that they were using. They were real cooks. They weren't opening bags and just heating shit up from Cisco. They weren't doing that. They were making stuff. One day I sat there and made French fries all fucking day. I had to peel potatoes and put them through the French fry maker, and I was making big 55-gallon damn oil drums, plastic drums of fucking French fries, all in water, pouring sugar in them and salt. It's wild, man. Every day I was doing something.
Soak them in sugar water. That's what makes them good.
Yeah, sugar water with a little bit of salt. And they had all that shit. They do weird things like fucking be carving up a big old piece of beef and making, they were almost like butchers too. They could get steaks out of fucking the side of a beef, because it's a lot cheaper just to buy a fucking whole
side
of beef and start getting cuts off of it. And then shit that wasn't going the shit that wasn't sellable, they reached in and grabbed a fucking raw piece of beef and start chewing on it and eating it. Roll a little bit and salt, and goes, "Oh, it's good, man. Tartar. You want any of this?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be a pussy." I'm like, "Yeah." And I get some of that and start eating it. And they were looking at me laughing like, "You're trying to impress us." You know, they're fucking with me. You know, that was a high school kid. I don't know if Gramthars remembers the name of that.
Gramthars Hammer says Uncle Ben's.
Is that the name? It might have been.
He said, I worked across the street at Jerry's Butcher Shop.
Yeah.
He said, my mom and dad met at Uncle Ben's in 1964.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was. And that's probably where they got that beef. They're probably getting it from the butcher's shop across the street.
Trace Render brings up steak and eggs. Oh, yeah. I haven't had steak and eggs for a really long time. Yeah, that is also a really good breakfast. Somebody, Miguel says, what is a good camping breakfast? I mean, anything. Honestly,
For camping?
Yeah, like taking shit camping.
Okay. Cans of Spam. I like the flavored Spam. There's a lot of good different flavors. So it's small, it's high concentrated protein. All right. It started off as a combat ration, really, when you think about it. World War II was fucking Spam powered. The new low sodium versions are a lot tastier because the original recipe was fucking salty as shit.
Oh, yeah.
The low sodiums are better. I really like the jalapeno ones. I like the bacon flavor one. I haven't had the turkey yet, but I own some. The smoked is good. Slice that off thin. Put it in a pan. Fry both sides of it. And then get powdered eggs. Mix that up with the water and pour that over it. And just let it turn into like an omelet and then flip it. Or you could take the meat out and just make an omelet and put it in, and then cube it and put it inside there. Use all kind of creative things that you could do. But I recommend powdered eggs and Spam. That'd be a good breakfast that you could camp with that. Powdered milk too. Take that along. Now, if you have a vacuum sealer, get some heavy duty plastic things and seal it and vacuum. They're cheap. You can get them off eBay for $20, $30. Start vacuum sealing containers of powdered milk and powdered eggs. Do it in like 4 or 5 eggs, 6 egg packs. That way it'll feed your whole party or 3 people every opening. It's light, and as long as you have the ability to collect water when you're camping and filtering it, then you'll be able to have milk and eggs, which is important, which be important components to cooking anything really. You can also have powdered butter. That's out there. And you can vacuum seal that. And you would use that for you could add water to it and use it as a spread. Probably wouldn't taste that good, but it'd be like a good oil to cook things in, like on a pan. Because you can't carry butter around, a stick of butter, And camping, especially if you're on foot, things that are hydrated way more.
I used to like making camping donuts. You know what I mean? You make those donuts over the fire. You can do that with that Pillsbury biscuit dough or...
They have those big cartons of dehydrated hash browns.
Yeah.
You could take some of that and put that in a plastic bag and vacuum pack it and pack that along too. Take that out in the field. Just add water to it. It turns back into potatoes.
Yeah, we use that a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's not ready to eat, though. You have to cook it.
Yeah.
But you would have raw potatoes. Yeah, and you had to cook them. It didn't take long to cook, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Miguel said sugar water. I need to try that. Yeah, that's kind of the secret of good French fries.
Yeah,
sugar water. I'm pretty sure McDonald's does that.
Yeah.
I learned that from my brother because he worked there a long time ago.
and the secret to Chick-fil-A sandwiches, the reason why they're so good is because they take those chicken breasts and they soak them for at least overnight in dill pickle juice.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and we've done the same thing. Yes. It tastes just like that.
Yep. You take it out, and then you dunk it in egg wash, and then roll it through seasoned flour. You put it in a pressure cooker with a little bit of oil. I think it was, oil. And pressure cook it for only a couple minutes. You can find out online what it is. And it'll come out that in the old school, that's the way they used to do it at Chick-fil-A. Now they do it without the oil. I think it's baked. Isn't it baked or something?
Oh, I don't know.
They try to reduce the calories. But originally it was battered and pressure cooked in oil
Yeah.
in a pressure cooker, only for a couple minutes. And when it comes out, man, it's fucking good, really good. You just put it on like a dinner roll style hamburger bun. A steamed hamburger bun is what it is. And it's not even a real nice one, or it didn't used to be. It was just like kind of like a cheap one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I want a big ass breakfast food.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have that for dinner.
Breakfast for dinner?
Also big breakfast.
I got that pizza dough I got to use, and I have
okay,
I have cakes. I have cakes of real buffalo mozzarella cheese.
Okay, well, we'll have pizza then.
Yeah, and that dough is aged 24 hours.
We had pizza last night too, because the kids came over.
Yeah, we
yesterday after the kids.
Yeah.
They came over yesterday afternoon, so we made a bunch of pizzas to feed everybody. So we still have a bunch of dough left over, because that's the thing. Like when he makes dough or sauce, he makes like a fucking shit ton of it. So we can just whip up a pizza at a moment's notice. We're out of mushrooms though, aren't we?
Yeah.
Shit, I hate the rest.
We
of
can
the
get some
mushrooms.
more. Yeah, I think it was called Uncle Ben's Grill. I think it was.
Not like Uncle Ben's rice.
No. It was like a bar and grill that had kind of like a 70s style tacky bar kind of in the front, dark, but that's just the way they were in the 70s. And it had a grill. And it was fucking great food, man. It was great food. Not just because I worked there. I was eating that shit and I was going, man, this shit's fucking good.
See, that's how you know a restaurant's good, if like the people that work there still eat there.
Yeah.
After all that time.
Yeah, it just looked like a kind of place you'd see like a mafiosi kind of fucking hanging out. Yeah, man.
I know exactly.
Because it's like this dark 70s kind of. Yeah.
You still
leisure suit wearing.
Yeah, you still see some restaurants that look like that on like Kitchen Nightmares and stuff.
Yeah.
Prepper's asking, where will you be selling your book? It'll be on the bookstore on Lulu, and I think that they do extended. I don't know if they do Amazon or if they maybe do Barnes and Noble. I'm not really sure. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the proof gets here soon, because it got mailed.
He's saying it was either Uncle Ben's or Mr. Nick's.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to think it was Uncle Ben's.
I don't know. I can't help you with that.
I just would call it the grill. I gotta go to the grill. That's what I call it. That's what we called it.
I gotta go to the grill.
Well, the people that worked there just called it the grill.
Camp Guy said, I've worked in food service and I would like to walk through the kitchen at any restaurant I'm about to eat at. And Esther said breakfast pizza is big here in Philadelphia. Yeah, I kind of heard that was a big thing. Not so much. I mean, you can get it here, I think, but I've never had it. And I don't know anyone that's had it. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get it, though, somewhere.
Yeah.
But I heard that was kind of more like a Pennsylvania thing. I don't know. I'd totally eat it. I'm not hating.
Yeah, Xan, I think you're right. It was peanut oil. They cooked that chicken in peanut oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pressure cooked. And it'll give the batter a weird texture. It's that exact same texture that you got from the old school Chick-fil-A.
Because I used to, we used to have one in our old mall in Daytona. It's probably still there. I don't know. I've been in Daytona a long time, but that's usually where I ate at, because that's what was closest to my house.
It might have been Nick's Bar and Grill. It might have been Nick's Grill.
You said it's the same place that changed names at some point.
Yeah, it might have been Nick's at the time I was there. I think I would have remembered Uncle Ben's. It sounds real familiar, but there's that rice.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Nick's Grill at the time when I was there. But we would just say, man, I got to go work at the grill.
Man, I got to go work at the
Got to shift at the grill.
Dom the Bomb says, Tom, how was your birthday?
That was good.
Yeah.
My birthdays are always good because I'm alive, Darren. When I stop showing up for my own birthdays, it's fucked up.
That's a good way of looking at it. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, Xana said something about breakfast pizza. Yeah, I had it in Minnesota. It's a Yankee thing. Like, wait, okay. What's on it, though? Is it like a pizza crust with, like, eggs and shit on it? Or... I mean, because I would eat that. I'm not gonna lie. Do they have like sauce, or because that seems like it may be weird?
Hold on. No, Camp Guy olive oil actually has like the smoke point is real low on it. All right. The highest one, the oil that can take the most abuse was castor oil. That's why they used to put it in down aircraft engines. And evidently it fucking tasted bad, but and it did weird shit under compression. The back of the dam. Evidently, you could see a whole bomber formation from the rear at night when they were flying in World War II, at least an American one, because you just see all these little things that look like sparkles, and it was castor oil burning inside the damn exhaust pipes of those radial engines. Every now and then they'd backfire and pop, and it looked like a little flash. And if there were hundreds of planes in front of you, you just see these little fucking sparkles going in front of you at night. Sparkles. And it means you're looking at the back of a bomber squadron. Yeah.
We learn all kinds of neat facts on this show. Yeah, it was that damn castor oil
in the engine doing that.
Yeah, I was asking about what the hell was on a breakfast pizza. Xander said cheese and breakfast sausage and sauce. So, no eggs? That's a bummer. Camp Guy said, I like a good loose scrambled egg sandwich with mayo and bacon on white bread toast. That actually sounds kind of good. Yeah, Xander says, basically a pizza with light sauce and breakfast sausage. Okay, so it's not that different from like a regular pizza because it's still got sausage on it.
A good breakfast sandwich that it is toast, any kind of nice toast. Scrambled eggs with cheese, bacon, and guacamole.
Yeah.
American guacamole, California style guacamole. If you don't have that, just slices of damn avocado. Really good on it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I like a breakfast sandwich on a bagel.
Yeah.
Is good, or a big ass biscuit's good too. Honestly, if we're going like, because sometimes when we go to McDonald's, I usually want breakfast food. Their sausage and egg biscuit is their best thing.
Yeah.
I think. I always get that. All right, so you want to you want to wrap it up?
That's good.
I think we can go in a little more than an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably need a nap, or we got to make pizza later.
Yeah.
And do some other shit. Not too much other shit though, because I'm pretty tired too. Not as tired as I thought I'd be. I'll be all right. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow, talking about a movie. I don't know what one yet. It'll just be one we feel like watching tonight and talking about tomorrow. So thanks everybody for coming by, listening to us talk about breakfast. Happy 4th of July to all you Americans out there. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.